Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shop Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Monday, November 11th, 2024. And if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily Bank Shop best bet in college hoops, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. And also be sure to check out that season pass in college basketball. We're off to a great start to the college hoop season. And tomorrow ends the opening week special, the special discount price that we have right now on the Pick Dawgz Premium. So check it out. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Monday, a new week in college basketball. First up, Grambling and Florida. This one 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN+. I think Florida's offense is too much in this game. Grambling played in a really close one against Ole Miss last time out, 66-64. But I do think that it was kind of reliant on the fact that Ole Miss missed a lot of open shots in that one, and Grambling made 9 of 19 attempts from three-point range. Florida is off to scoring 98 and 81 in their first 2 games, despite shooting 24% from the perimeter in those 2 games combined. There's some talented, sharp shooters, guys like Walter Clayton, that I think are definitely going to improve their game from 3 as the season goes along, and that makes this offense even more dangerous. Florida covered the opening number last game, failed to cover the closing number at 24.5. Sometimes it's best to get your bet in early so you can be ahead of that line move. But this is a game I think they win and win in blowout fashion. So I'm going to lay the points with the Gators. Next up, Eastern Washington and Missouri. This one 7 p.m. Eastern as well. It's going to be on ESPN+. Now, we faded Eastern Washington in their last game against Seattle. Got to give credit to the Eagles for winning that game outright, 93-86. But I still expect them to struggle overall this season, and I look for this to be a tough spot for them. We mentioned that this is a new coach, new system for Eastern Washington. Basically, had to start from scratch. As far as the roster goes, they lost a lot of production. None of their returning starting players. And while they've produced pretty well so far, they were competitive against Colorado in that first game. I still see some glaring holes with this roster. And I've mentioned I really like Missouri this year for a bounce-back season after a disaster in 23-24. Missouri was competitive against Memphis. They kind of blew a big lead at the end of that one to not be able to cover, but I still like what I saw from them. I thought they were impressive against Howard. And I look for this game to be a statement blowout win at home. So give me Missouri laying the points. Next up, we see Western Michigan and Butler. This one's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern as well. It's going to be on Fox Sports 1. This is another game where I'm laying the chalk. I'm going to go with Butler here and lay the points after their disaster loss against Austin Peay last time out, 68-66. But I do believe because of that upset loss, we're getting a really good price with still the much better team in this matchup. Western Michigan, I do expect a rough season. I expect them to finish near the bottom of the standings in the MAC. And, so far they lost that first game against Coastal, took care of business against a subdivision opponent, but I really see big issues on both sides of the ball for Western Michigan. I mean, last year offensively, this was one of the weakest teams in the country and in the MAC, and defensively, they really weren't much better. They also struggled to take care of the basketball. Now, so far, I mean, in that game against Coastal, they did a good job at limiting turnovers, but I think they'd pile up in a game like this on the road against a much better team. And I think Butler, this is still a very talented and experienced team, and also they have a big height advantage in this game. And we saw in Western Michigan's game against Coastal, Western Michigan struggled in the paint defensively, and they struggled against the size. We saw 7'2" Noah Ammenhauser go for 4 for 4 from the field, 10 points. He had 5 rebounds and assists, and Butler's got plenty of guys in the front court that can take advantage of that. So I'm going to go with Butler. I'm going to lay the points. Next up, we see Winthrop and Virginia Tech. This one's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern as well. It's going to be on ESPN+. For me, Winthrop has a lot that I'm looking for, and they check a lot of boxes for when I'm backing a road dog in a situation like this against a ACC team, and it's definitely a big game for this program. First of all, this is an efficient offense. It's a very fast offense, one of the fastest teams in the country. Defensively, they can hold their own, and this is an experienced team as well. They're 75th in D1 experience. They have a lot of production from last year's team, 62nd in minutes continuity. So, this is an experienced team that knows the system, plays a fast-paced, responsible team. They're a great rebounding team. We saw them have 21 offensive rebounds in their first game, or their first Division I game against Little Rock. And I think, the Hokies, overall, I think it'll be a better season than last year, but not by much. I still see a lot of question marks with this roster. They've taken care of business against some of the weaker teams in their schedule, Delaware State and USC Upstate, but I have actually been impressed with their defense. I think the Winthrop scores a ton of points in this game to at least cover the number, maybe earn the upset. Next up, we see Coppin State and Virginia, the final game for the Monday card. And it's also at 7 p.m. Eastern, so all of our games in that time slot. This one's also on ESPN+. Virginia is known to be a very strong defensive program, and just because Tony Bennett's not there, Ron Sanchez definitely knows this system, and I'm not worried about this Cavaliers defense at all this year. And it was great in their opener against Campbell. They failed to cover the number for us in that game, only won it by 9. But when we've seen Virginia play weak offenses, especially in non-conference play, they have just dominated. I mean, you look the last couple of seasons against teams outside the top 300 in adjusted offensive efficiency, they've won a lot of these games by 30-plus points. Last year, it was against teams like Texas Southern and North Carolina A&T, 62-33 and 80-51 respectively. The year prior against Maryland Eastern Shore, Monmouth, blowout wins by 47 points against Monmouth, 72-45 against Eastern Shore. So, Coppin State, you could argue, has the weakest offense in Division I basketball right now. They scored 49, 51, and 53 points in their first 3 games. And Virginia, without a doubt, is the toughest defense they're going to face so far. I really think they struggle offensively in their third road game in 4 games. And I think Virginia does enough offensively to win this game and cover the number in blowout fashion. I know Virginia plays at a slow pace, so it's tough to cover these giant spreads sometimes, but I think this is going to be a similar game to what we saw with Texas Southern. Wouldn't be shocked to see Coppin State in that 40 to 50 point range again, maybe even the 30s, but give me the Cavaliers laying the points. And that's it. Those are the games for Monday in college basketball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Put those college hoops picks in the comment section below. And again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.